Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments. An invisible woman has come to Marvel Snap, and she's completely broken. There's certain cards that are unfortunately high series that she's best with, but it's not the pay-to-win cards that you expect. Invisible Woman, Vanessa Kirby, Fantastic Four First Steps, is a 3/5 activate. This turn, your end of turn abilities happen twice. It turns out that this card is absolutely amazing. Hitting the right end of turn abilities, which are not NOT, not necessarily the other Fantastic Four First Steps cards, absolutely breaks this card wide open. Let's kick it off with a Grand Arena deck. The rest of the decks in this video, we've got two more top-notch decks with Invisible Woman First Steps for you, but we're going to start out with this Grand Arena deck because I immediately went 5-0 with this. Our friend in Terabang had a 90% win rate with it. This is one of the very best decks that you could possibly play in Grand Arena, and it's relatively budget friendly, so if you're interested, you should check it out. You can find Intero at twitch.tv/InteroBang. He is streaming basically late at night every night. Remember that this is a Grand Arena deck. If you're brand new here, the deck of the day is almost always the second deck in the video, and we do at least 3 decks every day. In fact, today we are doing 3 decks. Sometimes we hit 4, but almost always we hit 4. But today we're doing 3 because, I was supposed to stream tonight, but I fell asleep putting my son to bed, so I woke up to record so that I could make sure that you had this video. This deck needs both High Evolutionary and Invisible Woman. Mr. Fantastic can be Surge, so it only needs one High Series card, like one Series 5 card, but the replacement for a second is a second. So sorry about that, but it's still, like, for a Marvel Snap deck, considering how expensive they usually are, relatively cheap. All right, Sunspot's an amazing card to double, right? If you're going to pass on your turn 5, and you do that fairly often here, Sunspot is now plus 10 energy. It could be more if you've got Herbie, so that's just an 11 power 1-drop. You love to see it. Adam Warlock is really solid draw. People early on tend to avoid your Herbie lane. You've got Cyclops First Steps, and you've got Shang-Chi to punish later. You should be able to get a draw or 2 out of Adam Warlock, and that should be all you need. The extra power you get from him from Invisible Woman is fine. It's nice, but he's like the worst card in the deck, right? Like, he's the worst card in every deck he's in. He's a perfectly acceptable card, but not something you really want to go out of your way for. Havoc getting plus 8 power on the last turn of the game is amazing. If you play Havoc on the second to last turn, he's 12 power now immediately. I don't know. I feel like 2 12s are generally cards we like to play in Marvel Snap. Mr. Fantastic First Steps is not usually getting the Invisible Woman First Steps buff unless you are doing the turn 5 Sunspot buff. If you're doing that, then you're going to play Havoc on turn 5 along with skipping, and then, like, you'll be able to get that extra energy and you should be totally fine, right? You're going to get a little less energy on Sunspot, but you're going to get the double trigger of Havoc. Hulk will double trigger in hand, and you can get the double Havoc nice and early. So, like, then you are getting the benefit, but generally speaking, you're not getting too much benefit from Fantastic First Steps. Herbie's extra energy. We have multiple ways to get extra energy. Why do we care about extra energy? Well, we have Havoc. The other thing we have is dropping multiple big cards at the end of the game while also playing other cards. Herbie Spell lets us do that. Cyclops tends to play out with one trigger of Vanessa Kirby. Cyclops is a 3/8, which means he's almost always a 3/10 to 3/12. Again, that's stats we play in Marvel Snap. Invisible Woman makes this all sing. You can see how much stats she's generating so far, which is absolutely huge. Shang-Chi, power must be controlled. Just, opponents are going to have to try and go real big to go over the top of you. Say no thank you. Evolutionary is the cost of getting Abomination and She-Hulk. Abomination should probably be Fantasticar, but in Terabang, out of principle, did not buy Fantasticar. We'll actually talk more about Fantasticar later in this video. It is not in any decks this video, I'm letting you know that right now. It should probably just be Fantasticar, but hey, with even just Cyclops and some location luck, it ends up being a really good card. A 3/9 is a perfectly acceptable play. She-Hulk is almost always like a 1 or 2/10, great stats, and Hulk is getting up to 20 power relatively easily. Infinite sized Hulks are really solid. Again, Invisible Woman will work on Hulk in hand. This one has an 80% win rate. Turn 1, Fantastic over Herbie. Turn 2, we're looking for Cyclops over Invisible Woman. Sometimes we'll Invisible Woman first, right? But I tend to like to sort of get Cyclops down first, and assuming that I know where they've played cards. If not, I'll drop Invisible Woman and save Cyclops so I can make sure I'm getting max value. Turn 3 is one of those 2 3s, or we can do a 2 plus Sunspot. Turn 4, Abomination, or whatever else. Turn 5, Herbie Spell or Havoc. remember to trigger your Herbie as you've dropped it. And then turn 6, Shang, She-Hulk, Hulk, some combo thereof. Win the damn game because you've put up a stupid and crazy amount of power. Props to Nintero. This is one of the most fun and the single most successful deck I've played in Grand Arena. Let's talk about ladder, but first, please hit that sub button as we do our very best to bring you the best Marvel Snap content every single day. We haven't missed a day of videos in well over 2 years. I think we're actually at 2.5 plus years at this point. So if you want the most Marvel Snap content with the best decks, make sure you keep it here. We are also giving away Mr. Fantastic First Steps. In fact, later this video, we're going to announce 2 Mr. Fantastic First Steps winners. We're giving away one last one this week in the last week of the season. So if you want one of the best cards in the game for free, make sure you sub, like, and comment. One card trick butt. So the card that I'm alluding to in the thumbnail is Prodigy. Prodigy is utterly absurd when used on Invisible Woman First Steps. Why? Is a second trigger of end of turn abilities that good? Yes, but Prodigy doesn't give you a second trigger. You get 4 triggers for end of turn abilities with Prodigy. Quite why, I don't know. But that is +4 power on Human Torch, right? That's +16 power on Havoc. That's 4 tries for Bruce to turn into Hulk, i.e. he's going to turn into Hulk. That's 4 triggers, 8 power on Cyclops, 8 power for Thing. It's insane. Hell, the 4 power for Misty, and God knows how much for Sunspot for skipping turns. All of that is wild. Invisible Woman and Prodigy is a completely stupid and broken combo right now, and one that if you have access to Prodigy, you must get Invisible Woman. It is utterly insane. This deck is fairly energy hungry despite its low cost curve because it's running Havoc and Bruce, right? So we need Surge and Mr. Fantastic, which is a little rough, but this is still really good. This deck is created by Butt, twitch.tv/Butt Squad, and this is Zombies Go Nom Nom's version. So you can find Zombies at twitch.tv/Zombies Go Nom Nom. The big change that Zombies made, just very quickly, is he took out Fantasticar and put in Human Torch First Steps. With the quadruple buff, I think that's just the right decision. While Fantasticar is a very good card in this style of deck, we are energy hungry, and Human Torch gets to almost the same power in one lane instead of spread out. But it's 1 cheaper, so I think it's a little better. So this needs Thing, Fantastic, Invisible, Prodigy. Yeah, Prodigy is just incredible with Invisible Woman and High Evolutionary. Bruce and Surge can be Makari or Sam, but Bruce and Surge are great. Sam helps you fill lanes, which is reasonably important. You can also, if you're trying to fill lanes, there's a reasonable argument that you run Hydra Bob if you are running the Fantasticar version, because Fantasticar will buff Hydra Bob, and there is a synergy where if you use if you snap on the last turn, you can use Hydra Bob to fill one lane and then jump to another lane and fill that lane as well to get an end of turn ability, an end of game ability, like a Torch and a Thing end of game ability that way. Torch can be Fantasticar. Sorry, that's the only real replacement. Makari is not bad in this list though, just for the record. All right, so Sunspot is nice and cheap, and his energy on 1 turn gets quadrupled. Again, if you have 3 extra energy, that is a +12 on Sunspot. Misty Knight generates just extra energy. Again, you are trying to pass with energy for Bruce Banner for Cyclops, so you might as well just get extra power for that from Misty. Plus, again, that extra power is, you heard it here first, quadrupled with Invisible Woman and Prodigy. Doubling it is perfectly fine, right? Quadrupling it is absurd. Cyclops, Havoc quadrupled is one of the best cards in the game. It's already an insanely powerful card. We've got entire decks built around Havoc without even doubling him. That we can quadruple him here is insane. Bruce fundamentally plays as a 2/12 here. If we can get the Invisible and Prodigy combo going, you're almost always going to get him into a Hulk. Mr. Fantastic First Steps and Surge give you the extra energy, so you're not losing as much when you're passing with extra energy for Bruce, Misty, and Cyclops. Plus, the extra power is nice. Why the hell not? If you end up passing early, if you know your opponent doesn't have Shang, is basically the time you end up passing early. Fantastic First Steps is pretty solid with Prodigy. Human Torch gets big. You are not doubling the end of game abilities with Invisible Woman. The instead for Torch, First Steps, and the Thing, that's fine. Like, you're totally fine not doubling those, because just getting +4 power on Torch and then doubling him is pretty freaking good. Or even if you get the +4 after the double, which actually I think is how it happens reasonably amount of the time, but fine. +4 is +4. Cyclops plays as a 1 quadruple, makes him a 3/12. Prodigy's here for Invisible Woman for Steps. If in a pinch, don't be afraid to use Prodigy on Mr. Fantastic. Don't be afraid to use Prodigy on Havoc on the last turn. Don't be afraid to use Prodigy on Human Torch to fill a lane. Don't be afraid to use Prodigy on Cyclops. Any of those are very, very powerful plays. Prodigy is an amazing card in this deck in that he has a bunch of different cards that he can copy. Obviously, he wants to copy Vanessa Kirby, but if he's copying instead of many other cards, he's still very strong here. High Evolutionary is the cost of getting the Misty Knight and the Cyclops going. Sorry, you just need those extra end of turn abilities because there's so much power. And then, of course, the Thing. If the Thing gets an extra plus, what is it, plus 8 power, you've won the game, right? Like that lane is automatically won and you're just scaling up at an insane rate. But is a mad genius, as always. This is absolutely disgusting. Turn 1, Sunspot over Misty. Turn 2, Fantastic over Bruce over Surge. Turn 3, Invisible Woman over Torch over Cyclops. Invisible Woman is a snap. Turn 4, same as 3, or 1 plus Prodigy if we can copy Invisible Woman. Turn 5, Prodigy on Invisible Woman and Havoc. Sometimes Prodigy on a 1-drop if we just want to drop Havoc on the last turn. Turn 6, Thing and trigger Invisible Woman and Prodigy and win the damn game because your entire board just shot up in utterly absurd fashion. This deck is straight up busted ass disgusting grossness. And my favorite part, and I know a lot of people are going to complain about this, is it takes a lot of cards that haven't been that good, like Bruce and Prodigy, and makes them absolutely sing, makes them absolutely meta, because this is absolutely a meta deck. We've still got one more deck for you. It's a different sort of low to the ground Vanessa Kirby Prodigy deck, because again, I'm trying to avoid Fantasticar, and like the only way to really do that is to run Prodigy right now. I will show you some Fantasticar decks in a minute, but remember, first of all, I'm sorry I didn't stream last night. I literally passed out putting my son to bed. I woke up, recorded this video, and went back to sleep. Please forgive. I will be live right around the time that this video goes live. So if you're interested, please do check that out. If not, I'll be live within an hour after, pending, my son's bedtime and such. Okay. So I know there's a lot of complaints and consternation about Fantasticar being pay to win. And someone in the comments was going to go, you can win without Fantasticar. That means it's not pay to win. It's not actually what pay to win means. I know that the words have a meaning, but sometimes phrases have meanings that are different than individual words, friends. And pay to win means that you pay to get a significant advantage in Marvel Snap, which makes Fantasticar to a somewhat extent a pay to win card. Almost every really good season pass card is by definition a pay to win card. It just is. Now, that doesn't mean you can't win without it. It doesn't mean you have to have it. It just means you're at a disadvantage without the access to that card. Cool? So, is the pay-to-win nature of Fantasticar mitigated for you? Because Fantasticar was a fine card all season, but not like especially good. Now that Invisible Woman's out, I think this is a meta card, and we're going to cover some decks tomorrow for you that have both Fantasticar, well, pending the OTA. There's an OTA today, so there's probably, if I can freaking figure out the timing from the other end of the world, there's probably a second video, right? So, tomorrow should be some Fantasticar decks that are included, some Invisible Woman for Steps deck that include Fantasticar. Is how annoyed you are by this mitigated at all by the fact that they released Invisible Woman last, and thus Fantasticar wasn't meta until it was only a week out of snapbacks? Next week, at the beginning of the new season, Fantasticar is a snapback card. How do you feel about that? Does that make you feel better, worse? Do you not give a crap? Our first 2 season pass winners, these are like our 8th and 9th season pass winners, are Duelist Vash and Tomether. Please reach out in order to get your season pass. Don't forget, I'll be streaming in an hour and a half. Can't find Bynx. Is he invisible? Bynx is all in on Invisible Woman. How all in is Bynx? Well, he's running Frigga. He's running Prodigy. So we're trying to get multiple Invisible Women, as many Invisible Woman triggers as we possibly can. And we're running Magic, so we have an extra turn to make sure we can see our combo. As long as we can see our combo, Bynx's assumption is I win the game because this deck scales up wildly. You can find Bynx at twitch.tv/BynxPlays. This deck needs Marvel Boy, Athena, Prodigy, and Invisible Woman. Frigga can be Nico, and Kara can be Armor. And the beauty of this deck is its points that are largely tech-proof. The opponent's going to kill Monkey. No, they're really not. You have Kyra, right? That's going to protect your 1-drops. That's going to protect. It's not going to protect your Hulk. Actually, that will protect your Hulk. It won't protect Athena. It won't protect a Havoc. But those are end of turn abilities. So as long as you trigger your Invisible Women at the end of the game, all those points happen at the end of the game. That also means we're largely Shang proof. What's the tech card for this deck? Merlin Merlin to change Limbo. Outside of that, this deck just puts up way more points than most decks while being fundamentally immune to interaction. Kitty is here to trigger Thena over and over again. That is her fundamental use. Nice for a Marvel Boy buff, but mostly to trigger Thena. Sunspot is an end of turn ability we discussed in the previous deck. Squirrel Girl works with Marvel Boy. Marvel Boy is +3 every turn, +6 with just one Invisible Woman. But remember, we can do that 4 times, so we can give 3 4 different times. That's a nice +12 Marvel Boy. Okay, I'll play Doctor Doom. Thanks. Doctor Doom stats with Squirrel Girl. That's why Squirrel Girl is here. Havoc, we talked about. Thena will get +3 4 times, +12 on that 1 turn play. Again, even if you just frigger her and you're only getting the double, you're fine. You're perfectly happy. Bruce is going to turn into Hulk. Again, same logic as before. Magic gives you extra turns because this deck is 1,000% built around Invisible Woman. Marvel Boy buffs. Again, end of turn. Kara says, you Killmonger. Frigga says, yes, I do want more Invisible Women. Please give me more Invisible Women. Prodigy says, let's copy our Invisible Woman. And from there, oh my goodness, watch the numbers go burr. I'm going to go out on a limb that Bynx has a YouTube video on this. And as soon as you're done watching this video, please go check out Bynx's video because this is a hilariously brutal idea. So turn 1, Squirrel Girl if Marvel Boy over Sunspot over Kitty. Turn 2, Bruce or Athena over 2. Turn 3, 2+1 or just 2 if Bruce. Don't Havoc this early. Magic is fine, so is Kyra. You can play Invisible Woman alone, but try and be careful. Red Guardian still is a card that exists, and people are going to have to start running it. Turn 4 is the same as 3. You can add a 3+1, but you can also put a 1 in Prodigy for a double Invisible Woman. So like if you play Invisible Woman alone in lane, you can now play like a Kitty or a Squirrel Girl and Prodigy and get that copy. You can also just Frigga Invisible Woman. Turn 5, Magic if you don't have your combos, or we can do whatever we want for a second Invisible Woman. Disgustingly, if we went Invisible Woman 1 into... No, that doesn't work. That has to be Magic, thank goodness. Okay, good. I was going to go, you can go Invisible Woman into 1 into Prodigy into Frigga. You can, but then you don't have time to trigger that last Invisible Woman, at least until Jocasta comes out, a card coming that lets you trigger an activate ability immediately without using it. So Magic or second Invisible Woman, and then turn 6, Havoc and whatever. We're doing double Invisible Woman for double Havoc, extra Sunspot energy, extra Marvel Boy Athena power. Watch your Bruce turn into a Hulk, and then you just all of a sudden went from almost no power on the board, sitting there with like 1-3 Sunspots and stuff, and like 1-4 Marvel Boys, to just super crazy, absurd power that your opponent can have almost no answer with for unless they're playing like negative or crazy combo decks. That's just This card is crazy. I didn't like Invisible Woman is good. I don't think anyone was calling how good it is when you start copying and doubling it. Welcome to the metagame, my dear friends. Check out the stream team if you want some gameplay for this, and my timing doesn't work for you right now. The stream team is a bunch of our friends that stream some wonderful decks for us. The King of Canada, JJ, will be live at about 12 p.m. Eastern, playing some of these lists. Please do as well check out patreon.com/snapjudgments if you're so inclined, where we do our very best to provide you the best Marvel Snap content. I am getting back in the swing of things, and as a reward for my lovely loyal patrons, I've been giving away a massive number of PAX codes. I just gave away 8 yesterday as a way to try and like, hey, I'm back, because for anyone who's new here, I just moved to Vietnam a week ago, and we still haven't missed a video. Thank you to Jonesy Snap 22, our patron of the month, Abigail Houston, Mandatory Burnout, It Regardless, LAB, Inc., I Am Frostman, Hota, Neverete, Prime Ryan, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood Snap, Run Wrench, Gopher Kev, Keltor, Kirtix Lee, Koire, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, The Black Dahlia, Pyrofros, Goatseeker, Goatsea, Code, Hallowed, Synth, Reddick, Absolute Shannon, Dirty Casual, Dark Moogle, thank you for joining Moogle, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philly, Philip Raffich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Biz Up, Like TV23, Extras, Fee, and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends, Jessica Gamble, Subjess, Mr. Slush Death, The King of Bros, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Oh, Kills, The Hoda Clam, Colonel Foreman, Rob Sullivan, David G. Wingfield, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, by Mr. Craig Sterry, we'll miss you, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., Matt V., Corbin, John Q, and Jimmy McQ, down, yes, out, ACH, one big bad movement for reals, Cactus Jack, Reapster, Steve O, 131, Yo Marco, Ted Bro, Good Bro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe, check out the Snap Decisions podcast, Bickety, Boom, Bot, Bricks to Click, Bricks, I saw that deck, I need to play it, I haven't had time yet, I got you, fam, Green Goblin, Unibot V2, Flan 56, Spectrum X, Hoot, congrats on Infinite Hoot, only Fox, Matt H, DJ, Mike Judgings. No freaking flex. Nick the Greek Geek. What's up, Nikki? Toxic Soul King. Zadric74. The King of Canada. JJ Denman Falcon. Foster Newman. Two Ties. The Great One of Devs. The Pirate King. Tucker. And of course, Gonna T. Where the T stands for. Thank you for all the support, friends. Have a wonderful day. I don't know what the fuck that was. I'm very tired. I'll see you tomorrow for more Snap Take. No, I appreciate you. Peace.